Before BTS became the world's biggest boy band, breaking records and melting stadium Wi-Fi with one live stream, they were 7 boys hustling in cheap clothes, passing out free concert tickets on the street, and getting cut off mid-performance because TV stations didn't think they were worth the airtime. Yeah, BTS didn't start as legends. They started as underdogs, and this is the story of how 7 kids from Korea went from nobodies to rewriting pop history. Let's rewind to 2010. Big Hit Entertainment, the company behind BTS, was basically broke. Not cut corners broke, more like we might not exist next month broke. Their last gamble? A boy group called BTS, and in 2013 they debuted, not because the industry was waiting, but because another group canceled last minute. BTS didn't walk into opportunity, they squeezed into it. And if you think the industry welcomed them with open arms, oh no. From day one, BTS were ignored. Broadcast stations cut their performances, idols mocked their cheap outfits, and radio hosts threw racist jokes their way. But instead of quitting, the boys went full hustle, handing out flyers, begging people to take free tickets. Their first concert? 400 people. And even then, half were friends of friends. It should have been humiliating. Instead, it lit a fire. Because if nobody believed in them, they'd just make believers. But success didn't come without backlash. As soon as BTS found their sound, the accusations rolled in. Copying outfits, copying logos, even plagiarism claims over their schoolboy concept. And when critics weren't saying copycat, they were saying misogynist over lyrics. For most rookie groups, that would have been career over. But BTS, they did something rare. They admitted mistakes, apologized, and pushed forward. That honesty didn't kill them. It made fans trust them more. And while critics kept yelling plagiarism, BTS were busy creating something that couldn't be copied: loyalty. Behind the scenes, things were brutal. Their own managers mistreated them. One even raised a hand at Jungkook, on camera. Concert organizers sabotaged them, cutting lights, cutting cameras. The only proof their performances even existed? Fan cams. And yet, those shaky fan-recorded videos went viral. And those fans became ARMY. It was humiliating. But humiliation has a funny way of turning into revenge arcs. Take Jungkook. On one variety show, he shyly handed out snacks and got laughed off like a joke. Fast forward a few years, BTS are Grammy nominees, stadium fillers, and the same hosts who mocked them are forced to apologize publicly after ARMY drags them online. Call it karma, call it poetic justice. Either way, BTS weren't the punchline anymore. They were rewriting the script, and the rewrite began with one album, Wings. 2016's Wings wasn't just music, it was a statement. The album broke records, critics finally gave BTS credit, and fans outside Korea started paying attention. By 2017, BTS were on the Billboard stage, nervous, stumbling over English, but unforgettable. The world finally looked up, and once the spotlight hit, it didn't turn off. Soon they weren't just climbing charts, they were breaking into collaborations nobody thought possible. BTS didn't just stay in their lane. They swerved straight into the global market with collabs that made headlines. They teamed up with Halsey on Boy With Love, Nicki Minaj on Idol, Steve Aoki on Mic Drop, Lauv on Make It Right, and Charlie XCX on Dream Glow. And of course, the Coldplay collab My Universe, which didn't just chart, it debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. By then, BTS weren't asking to be on playlists. They were the playlist. But the higher they climbed, the more resistance they faced. Anti-fans crashed award voting sites, spread fake scandals, and even sent death threats. Jimin's threats got so serious, Big Hit had to increase security. V broke down after losing his grandmother. For 3 years, BTS admitted they seriously thought about disbanding, but instead of breaking apart, they came back stronger. And ARMY wasn't just growing, it was dominating. By 2018, BTS wasn't just another group, they were a phenomenon. In 2020, their online concert Map of the Seoul on E sold almost 1 million tickets, raking in over $20 million in a single night. On Spotify, they crossed 20 billion streams, becoming the most streamed Korean act of all time. Their single Dynamite alone racked up over 1.7 billion streams and smashed YouTube records with 100 million views in 24 hours. Politicians rewrote military enlistment laws because of them. The Grammys got accused of using them for clout when they kept inviting BTS to perform, but never to win. And racist DJs fired. BTS weren't just breaking charts, they were breaking systems. Today, BTS is more than a boy band. They're a movement, proof that you don't need a giant label or perfect English to conquer the globe. You just need talent, grit, and a fandom that will write dissertations defending you online. They went from free concerts with 400 people to shutting down Times Square, from nobodies to legends. And the craziest part, their story isn't even finished. So the next time you hear a BTS track blasting, remember, this wasn't supposed to happen. They weren't built to win. They were built to survive. And that survival turned them into the biggest band on earth.